Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Come on in and find your seat. Get yourself comfortable.
They said that the internet was down.
We're going to begin in just a second with our centering song.
What am I missing?
Hallelujah. There is only God. There is only life. There is only love and harmony and joy and peace. And it is now. It is happening now. And it is each of us expressing here as God right now, pouring itself into all of us. We are filled with love and light and joy and peace. And we have a wonderful happening here today with the Rev Katherine and all the music, and it's all here for us, and we say yes, 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 pour yourself into us. We are open, we are receptive, and we say thank you, Spirit, and so it is. So it is.
And that's Mary Russell, our today. Thank you for your meditation this morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rev Katherine Economou. It's my joy to welcome you here this morning to the Center for Spiritual Living Temecula Valley. Let's say good morning to our music team, please. I'm Danielle. We're so grateful to have you with us this morning, and we're so grateful to be together. I am so excited for today, for our time together. Our theme for the day really is about community. And it's about how community encourages and supports us in being who we've come here to be. And it can support us in raising our ability to experience happiness in every day when we are part of a community. And so just because you made the choice to get up this morning and to come here and to sit in this sanctuary and to participate in this day, you have an opportunity to be happier. That's a pretty good choice, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it? I think it is. So the idea is we're going to have a joyful day and understand a little bit more how just being part of a community really does support our well-being. And so I'm so grateful that you made the choice. And I want to extend a great welcome to all those who are watching us online. We've got friends from all over who come and participate with us every Sunday through our live stream. And I need to give you a little behind the curtains. Our internet's out. today. So we came in this morning and our internet isn't working, and I was like, oh my goodness, our friends from afar, what are we going to do? And we're so lucky that our beloved Danielle has a hotspot that is so we're able to plug back in and keep it going. And so to our friends out on the internet, just so you know, you are important to us. You matter. You may not be in the room, we may not be able to see you, but we count you as part of our spiritual family. We count you as part of our community. And just because you are stepping in to participate here, whether it's live right now or 5 o'clock today or 7 o'clock on Tuesday, it doesn't matter, that you are part of the energetic of CSL TV, and we are so grateful that you're here. And so with that, I think we're going to sing.
We're going to sing. All right, everyone, we are going to sing Thank You for This Day this morning. So if you all would stand with me, let's sing together. Let's begin clapping here. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. One more. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
All right. Okay, so for our moment of gratitude today, as we're finishing up our month where we're honoring Women's History Month, this is what happens when my internet's out and I can't print things. I need to read it on my phone. Okay, so after this week where we saw a historic Supreme Court process going on with the first African-American female nominated to the Supreme Court, it was also Sandra Day O'Connor's 92nd birthday. So we're going to honor her today. So yesterday, happy birthday, happy 92nd birthday to Sandra Day O'Connor, who became the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1981. O'Connor, who famously said, "I think the important thing about my appointment is not that I will decide cases as a woman, but that I am a woman who will get to decide cases."
Yeah.
She was confirmed by the U.S. Senate by a vote of 99-0.
Wow.
When she retired in 2005, the Washington Post wrote that O'Connor was a decisive swing vote on virtually all the major legal issues of our time. She also captivated the public. In her first year on the court, she received over 60,000 letters from the public, more than any other justice in history. Born in El Paso, Texas in 1930, the self-proclaimed FWOTSC, first woman on the Supreme Court, Watska! She kept her rulings narrow and conservative until around 1994, when she began making deciding swing votes as the makeup of the court grew more conservative. Law professor Stephen Green observed in an interview, she was a moderating voice on the court and was very hesitant to expand the law in either direction. O'Connor is remembered for her case-by-case approach and open mind, especially when it came to cases involving women's rights and children. And so on today, on our last Sunday of Women's History Month, let us honor Sandra Day O'Connor. So, and so I'm just going to invite you to go within for just a moment and take a breath. Move into our heart space. And let's move into a space for a moment of gratitude today. Let's move into a space of those who have cut a new path. Being grateful for those brave, courageous ones out in the world who has made the way for each of us in our own unique paths. It's hard to be the first. And let us show a little bit of gratitude for ourselves, honoring for each and every tiny, minute, and enormous way that you have pushed past some preconceived limitation in your life. Something that they said you couldn't do. Something that they said was too hard for you. And you know what? You were not going to let that hold you back. The Spirit in you was not going to let you stay small. And so breathe into your heart in this moment and just a little bit of self-appreciation. Because you know what? You've done some stuff. You have made your way. And so on this day, as we honor those who have come before us, let us honor ourselves for coming now before those who are following behind. And so it is. And with that, we'll invite Mary forward for our reading today.
So, the spiritual reading for today comes from the book for this month, Happy for No Reason, 7 Steps to Being Happy from the Inside Out by Marcy Chernoff. Researchers have found that no matter what happiness to you, Researchers have found that no matter what happens to you in life, you tend to return to the fixed range of happiness. Like your weight set point, which keeps your scale hovering around that same number. Your happiness set point will remain the same unless you make a concerted effort to change it. Oh, to be responsible, huh? In fact, there was a famous study conducted that tracked people who'd won the lottery, what many people think is of the ticket to the magic kingdom of joy. Well, within a year, these lucky winners returned to approximately the same level of happiness they experienced before their windfall. Surprisingly, the same was true for people who became paraplegics. Within a year or so of being disabled, they also returned to their original happiness level. Whatever the experience, positive or negative, people return to their happiness set point. Researchers have found that 50% of our happiness comes from genetics. Ooh. But more exciting was the new information they uncovered about the remaining 50%. It appears that only 10% of our happiness set point is determined by circumstances such as our level of wealth, our marital status, or our job. The other 40% is determined by our habitual thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. This is why it's possible to raise your happiness set point in the same way you'd crank up the thermostat to get comfortable on a chilly day. You actually have the power to reprogram your happiness set point to a higher level of peace and well-being. The discovery of the happiness set point and our ability to change it turns everything we've all believed about being happy upside down. We spend our entire lives searching for happiness, yearning for it, trying to get the things we are sure will make us happy, wealth, relationships, careers, and so on. But the truth is, to be happy, truly happy, all you have to do is raise your happiness set point. And you can do that by changing your thoughts and beliefs. And so it is.
So it is.
We are family. got all my sisters with me.
I'm sorry, we're up.
We are family.
Thank you, Kathy.
Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my brothers with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Everyone, can you see we're together as we walk on by? And we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lies. All of the people around us, they say, can they be that close? Just let me stick for the record. We give you love in a family dose. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. We are family. I got all my brothers with me.
We can't leave it out.
Yeah.
We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Living life is fun, and we've just begun to get our share of this world's delights. High hopes we have for the future, and our goals and desires. No, we don't get depressed. Here's what we call our golden rule. Have faith in you and the things you do. You won't go wrong. Oh, no, this is our family jewel. We are family. Hey, I got all my sisters with me. Everybody sing. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing. Sing to me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
Yes, how great is that? Yes.
So much fun.
I hope that wasn't sarcastic. Oh, so much fun. Okay. It's good to get it moving. It's good to wake up and move around a little bit here. We are fun. Remember, we're not a stiff, rules-oriented church. So, my talk today is So Happy Together. And of course, I already am talking about the fact that it's really all about community. This month, we've been talking about looking at everyday wonder in play, right? So the theme for the year is looking at the wonder in everyday life, finding that magic, the mystery, the joy of it, the awe. And each month we're looking at a different aspect of that, of how awe shows up in our lives. And so this month it's about play. This month it was about being light and joyful as we come into spring. It's so funny. It was great. We kind of tiptoed into summer there for a minute. We're going back to winter tomorrow. Thank God, I'm happy about that. But, I love to give you Rev Katherine's spiritual weather report. So we're going to hold space for what's going to come. But there's that energy of expansion, right? There's this energy of the light coming back. There's this energy of moving into a new phase of the pandemic. There's this idea of that fresh new experience. And so the idea here is that we're not going to take it so seriously and have to do it right this time and make sure we get everything correct and everything. No. The idea for this month is to encourage us to be a little bit more light, to allow a little bit more joy, to laugh at ourselves a little bit, to take ourselves in the way that allows that playful nature that's alive within us. It's alive within each and every one of us. We may have just locked it away so long ago that we've forgotten. You know, I was one of those kids. I was one of those kids that was grown up before I was. You know, I was a serious child. I was very serious, you know. And so it has taken a long time to unlock that sense of play within me, and I've worked for years to get back in there and to allow it to come forward and to allow ourselves to be joyful, to allow ourselves to have some fun, to be silly, to not worry about what someone else is going to think about you. You know what I mean? If I could get up here and actually do a time step, which I have done many times, you know, I worked really hard to not really care. That's on film now. That's what I have to remember too, is that gets posted. So, but, you know, I'm willing to do it because there's a part of us that wants to be expressed, that wants to have some fun, that wants to have some joy. And these things is the gift, that the blessing that God gives us to not make it so hard when the hard stuff happens. Because the hard stuff does happen. Life happens. The promise was not that life was going to be easy. The promise was that we were going to be supported during life. That we were going to have everything that we need and more to navigate the life that we are living. And so I can't promise that you'll have a life without challenge or without tumult. I can't. But what I can promise you is that if you allow yourself to be a little bit lighter, to allow yourself those moments of joy, to pause long enough to get the rest that our lives are calling for, and be present in the moment, there will be a blessing there for you that will guide you, that will support you, that will inspire you. And one of those things is our communities. One of those things is the ability for us to be in community with like-minded people who can buoy us up. You know, one of the themes that I've been talking about through the whole month is that we are actually living on an energetic level. Some of us that live in our brains and our minds so much don't get this all the time, we forget. But there is a feeling sense, right? And sometimes it's when you're in a place and all of a sudden it feels like the wind has shifted and it's not safe, or you feel creeped out about a place. You know, it's like, oh, I don't really necessarily want to be there. Or you're in a interaction with a person and you just get a hit, like it's like, oh my goodness, this person is like my long lost soul sister. You know, like you just want to hug them and you've just met them and you're in the line at the grocery store. Don't hug them. Don't hug them. I almost have done that before, right? But so what I'm trying to say is that this month what we've been talking about is that the interactions that we have in our life and the experiences that we go through in our days are either going to allow us to expand or allow us to contract. And if you get one thing out of this month, if you get the idea that, okay, this is making me feel like I'm expansive, or this is making me feel like this is making me kind of pull back a little bit, that'll be a huge gift, because that's your inner GPS. That's your inner God positioning system. Because what that is connecting you to your intuition, because your intuition knows what's right for you. And your intuition knows what's not right for you. And if we listen to it, if we allow ourselves to feel into that, then it's like that GPS on the phone. Can I tell you how amazing it is that we don't have those old Thomas guides anymore that have to go to page 464 D7. Wait, no, that's Tijuana. Okay. You know, like, do you remember doing that? You know? But no, all I have to do is press the button and then it shows up. That's how it can be for you with your inner knowing. It can be so easy for you to allow your inner knowing to guide you forward in a way that's going to allow you to expand and, again, to bring forth the true you. You know, in the Gospel of Thomas, it's written, you know, if you bring forth that which is within you, that which is within you will save you. If you do not bring forth that which is within you, that which is within you will destroy you. What? Wait, what? It's the same thing, but it's where it is. Your gift, you are a gift. That unique aspect of your being is your gift. And it has been given to you to be given to the world. Your gift is not for you alone, it is for the world. And so everything that we're talking about is gearing us to being the most fully expressed us that we can be. But if we hold back, if we're too embarrassed in a group, if we don't want to speak our truth, even though we know that we have something to say in that conversation, and we're afraid to do it. That's holding back what's within you. And when we hold back what's within us, we hold that gift for ourselves. It doesn't have its full life. And that's where we start to, it destroys us because we don't allow ourselves to fully develop into who we've come here to be. It destroys us because we get stuck in that feedback loop of I can't say anything, they're going to get mad at me, and what if I don't do this, and how are they going to, if I show up in this way, they're not going to love me anymore, and so I have to be this and I have to do that. There is a lot of chatter in our minds, and we are so used to it that we can't even hear it anymore. And so one of the gifts of being in relationship, and especially in relationships in a community that has the intention to see the truth of each other, there's a difference. You know, since I've been here for almost 8.5 years, and since I got here, when guest singers come through or speakers come, they're like, wow, you guys really like each other. And I'm like, why were you surprised about that? Like the first person said, and the second person said, by the time the fifth person said that to me, I was like, where are you singing that the people are nice to each other at the church? Because maybe you should choose another church, right? Well, but that's the thing, is that we have set an intention to see the truth of each other no matter what. We have set an intention with the leadership of this community, and for years we have prayed to know that when you step on through these doors, we see that divine spark within you. That the true you shows up. So the true me is meeting the true you. And we are going to be in that kind of a relationship. And that is what our goal is here. And so that's why the gift of community is when you can show up and really be you. You have an opportunity to be you. Then that is a way that will help you expand. You know, we're moving into that expansion rather than contraction, and allow the joy to flow forward. Being in relationship consciously will support us in raising that happiness set point that Mary was talking about in the reading. I love that concept of the happiness set point, and I wanted to make sure we got it in this month because we each have a regular level of happiness that we just kind of go back to. No matter what happens, we kind of find our way back. It's like water ends up in its own equalizer, right? So it's like that for each of us. Except we can do something about it. We could change it ourselves. Our genetics don't have the majority of our happiness. Our conditioning doesn't have the majority of our happiness. The situations of our life doesn't have the majority of our happiness. The biggest chunk of change possible is through our beliefs and through how we relate to life. Hey, have you heard that before? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, right.
I wonder about that. Oh, right, I talk about it every week. It's what we can do. By relating to life differently, by realizing that there's a possibility, by understanding that we can actually, it takes some work, it's like working out. Sometimes you have to work out for a while before you see a change. Sometimes you need to do your mindfulness practice for a while before you start to see a change, but it can happen. And we can be empowered to raise that happiness set point. How cool is that? So again, the idea of someone who's happy, what they do is they cultivate relationships that expand them. They cultivate relationships that buoy them up. And they know how to protect themselves from the people who drag them down, from those relationships that pull them down, because they know they're not depending on someone else to make them happy. Because when you cultivate happiness, you enjoy being with your friends and family, but you also enjoy spending time alone in your own company. You bring your happiness to your relationships. You don't try to get it out of them. And again, I'm going to go back to neuroscience. It teaches us that our brains are wired actually to relate to one another. And our emotions are as contagious as COVID. And the Omicron. Emotions are contagious. Have you noticed that? That you'll be having a perfectly fine day and have a conversation with someone. It could even be on the phone. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, the sun is too hot and I just can't, oh, what did I eat for lunch? And this just, oh, what do I, and all of a sudden you just catch, and you don't know what it is. You caught the contagion. But the opposite is true also, because when we're with someone who is naturally happy, they raise us up. When you're with someone who's just naturally happy, and it's your energies, right? It's our energies balance. And if we are not conscious about how we're showing up, then we do get dragged down. We can get dragged down very easily. But I'm going to give you some suggestions and some ideas about how we can better protect ourselves. But it's important that we wake up to the quality of our relationships, because they have a biochemical effect on our bodies. Literally, they affect our physiology. When we make healthy connections with people, our brains flood our cells with happiness chemicals. And when we have unhealthy social interactions, the harmful ones are released. Until you're able to reach that pure, organic state of happiness for no reason, your happiness is affected by the energy of the people around you. And so again, you want to surround yourself with people who support your energy expansion. You know, you understand, you know what those kinds of people are like. They communicate authentically. You have healthy boundaries, appropriate. You appreciate others. They appreciate others. And you focus on the similarities and the connections, and rather than the differences. And when you surround yourself with relationships with toxic people, they look a little bit different, right? You end up feeling a little bit lonely and isolated even when you're in a relationship with someone. There's a lot of gossip and complaining, shutting other people out, feeling superior or inferior, focusing on our differences, and expecting others to make us happy, right? Like that's the idea of a toxic person. Is like, gimme, 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 gimme. It's like they drain us of our energy, you know. And so today I'm going to share some happiness habits for relationships, things that we want to keep in mind as we're navigating our days. The first one is you want to tend to your relationships. It's spring. I'm such a gardener, and I was going to get in the garden this weekend, and then with the rain coming tomorrow, I decided to wait to do it after. But it's time, right? I'm like late on mine, so it's time to tend to the garden. And so what you do when you tend a garden is you have to weed it. You dig it out, you dig everything old out, you got to take out all those old weeds, you have to put in good nutrients and get it ready to plant, And so we do that with our relationships. We need to constantly weed out the ones, or learn how to relate differently to the ones that are the weeds in our lives. Because you know what? Sometimes those weeds, you can't get rid of them. Because sometimes those weeds are related to you. Sometimes those weeds live in your own house. They might. Don't do any nods or shakes, because everybody look at me. Eyes on me. Don't look at your neighbor. Okay. Just kidding. But it's true, right? I usually do this talk around Thanksgiving. But it's true that we, and sometimes you can't really, just cut everybody out. You don't really want to do that. But when we go in conscious to that interaction and protect ourselves, to know that, you know what? I am in charge of my own happiness and well-being. And this person has their own issues, and I'm going to let them have their issues. Because you know what? We are not in charge to make everybody else happy either. We are not in charge to show everybody the way spiritually. But I love what happens here. I've seen this over and over again for 25 years since I've been a minister. So what happens is somebody will come and they'll get so excited about the philosophy, and they'll read a book, and they'll take a class, and then oh my gosh, this is the best thing, right? This is so amazing. I got to talk to my father about this. Or I'm going to call my brother, right, and tell them about this. And they buy all the books, and they package them up, and they send them. And what's the brother going to say to them? Oh, what is this crazy California thing they're talking about? It's not California. You know what I'm saying. No. But what is it? What are you talking about? No, but you understand. You have to think differently, And so we're telling them because we want them to benefit from the gift that we've gotten. But they're at a different place on their path, right? And they're not ready. You cannot make a spiritual shift in your life until you're ready. This stuff doesn't come into your conscious awareness and on your path until you are absolutely ready for it. And so it may be right for you, but it's not right for them yet. So you can invite them, you can show them, you can talk to them, and you can love them right where they are. But you do not need to take on the responsibility of making somebody else happy or understanding or free, spiritually free, or give them some peace. Because every time, and you can see I'm laughing about this because you know how many times I've tried to do that, and I've known this forever. But I just have something that I just want you to have peace. I just want you to know how amazing you are. Absolutely. And everybody's going to get there in their own time. Jim Rohn was an author and a motivational speaker, and he said, you become the average of the 5 people you associate with most. That's something I thought was good for us to keep in mind. We become the average of the 5 people we associate with most. So spending time with those that we love can reset the balance of our biology toward greater happiness. We need to choose wisely who we spend time with, and we need to be honest about how we feel when we're spending time with them. So, again, this is when we go back to our inner GPS. So, where do you feel expanded or accepted or comfortable with, and where do you not? And that's how you start to realize, maybe I won't go to that coffee date this month. Maybe I won't go to that dinner party. And sometimes making the choices to not do something are healthier for us than the choices to actually do something and try to be nice and get through it and have it be okay. Because your energy, your well-being, your health is precious. And it's important for you to guard it and take care of it. And it's not you don't want to wait until you have an illness. You don't want to wait until you have something that you have to deal with to start to do this. We want to take care of ourselves and make sure that we are feeding and nurturing ourselves as much as we can. The second suggestion this week is surrounding yourself with support. And I love this. A corporate consultant, Martin Root, said, you have to do it by yourself and you can't do it alone. Whew. You have to do it by yourself, and you can't do it alone. So sometimes we need more support than our friends and family can give us, right? When we're having a tough time, when we're hitting those bumps in the road, when something's happening. And so that's when it's really great to have already created some circles of support for ourselves. And that's why, having a place where you can go with people of like mind in a positive atmosphere to support you in living a joyful experience of your life would be good for you. If only there was a place like that. If only there was a place where we could go on a weekly basis and spend some time and see the truth of each other. Oh, right, we have that, we're here. That's the importance of what we're doing. There's an importance to this. And it has a benefit to us. That this is a place, and I've always said it, that my vision of spiritual community is that this is a place that we get to go and celebrate the joys of life with each other. That when we have one of those wins, when we have one of those great experiences, that we get to come together and celebrate with one another. We're good at that. And this is also the place when the road hits the rocky patch, and we need some comfort and support, and we need someone to be able to see us and hold us and know that we can get through what we're getting through, to know that it's going to be okay. That's where we come here too. I always say that, I hear a lot that people say, oh, I haven't seen them for a while, and I'll be like, you know what, it's so great to see you, I wish you were here. Oh, I've been going through a rough time. I just didn't feel like I could come to church. And I was like, what? Wait, what? Well, you guys are all so happy over there. And I'm like, yeah, we are, and we're happy because we get to be together. And we have a whole lot of prayer work going on, and we have a whole lot of support happening here. And we want to be the place that brings comfort, that reminds you that no matter how hard it is right now, you can get through this. And you will get through this because you are supported and sourced by the divine. And it's so much more fun to live in community, right? It's so much more fun to live in community. Now, I'll admit there are moments when I wish I was a monk on a mountain and just could look over in my mind, it's the monastery in the top of the Swiss Alps, and I'm looking over these beautiful mountains, and it's quiet, and no one's bothering me. Yes, I like that, sometimes, that idea. But we weren't made for that. We weren't made for that. I wasn't made for that. We were made to be in relationship with one another. We were meant to work together. This week, I got permission to tell this story. This week, I picked my daughter up from school, and she's in 8th grade, and she's working on a science group project, right? And so for like 2 or 3 days, she'd get in the car, a couple of times probably. She got in the car, and she'd be like, the group project. And she'd just start talking about how hard it is. Do you remember what it's like to do group projects?
Yeah.
You know, you remember how that felt like? And then, because there's always the person that does most of it, and there's the one who just doesn't do anything, and there's the ones that are trying to do it, and everything in between, you know, and they're trying to put this all together. And I said to my daughter, I looked at her and I said, honey, unfortunately, I'm sorry to tell you that life is a group project.
Thank you.
It is. But later on, you get to choose your team members. You get to choose the team that you're going to work with. In 8th grade science class, you do not get to choose your team members. But later on, you get to start to choose your team members. And team means together, everyone achieves more. Right? And when we can do that, we start to see the whole entire world as our family. When we start to see that we are in the same experience, that we are all doing the best we can to experience what this life is and create some joy in this life, some of those ideas of differences can calm down. One of the most amazing things we've noticed since we got back is that I was so happy that our hospitality's back. Thank you to Pat Clark and our team there, that getting our hospitality. Especially today when we're having a potluck, and that makes me so happy that we have potlucks. We just love to eat together, you know, it's so fun. And one of the things that we noticed is that people were really like yearning for that, so they would stay. When we first opened last summer, you know, people would stay and like just sit at the tables and connect, and after a little while we were like, oh, we kind of gotta go home, but okay, you know. And so we've wanted to create more and more experiences for us to really be able to get back into community again. And that's where the idea for this event today, after service, listening is an act of love, came from, is our desire to know each other more and differently. And so I just want to say, I'm encouraging everybody to stay today, but what I want to share about it is that it really is just an opportunity. You won't be put on the spot. You're not going to be like, have to stand up and do a presentation or anything. We're just going to have a conversation with each other and share some things about ourselves that maybe we wouldn't think to do, in a way to connect on a deeper level, in a way to deepen these bonds, and to understand that, you know what, we've had different kinds of experiences, but at the core there's a lot of similarities. And what a gift and a joy it can be for us to do this together. Maya Angelou said, human beings are more alike than we are unalike. Try to spread your giving of yourself to people who may not even look like you. You belong to everybody, and everybody belongs to you. You know, Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, she shared that after that was published, she was often asked by reporters, don't you think it was a little selfish to travel around the world looking for yourself? She always answered, you know what? I actually think it would have been a little selfish to spend the rest of my life in narcissistic, depressive, anxious misery. That person adds nothing to society. It adds nothing to any room that she enters, adds nothing to the people whom she touches. The best community service I can possibly offer the world is to stay healthy and sane. It wasn't selfish for her to do it. It was the gift to the world. And anybody who read that book knows what a gift it was in giving us permission to find who we are. You know we have an effect on each other. It's biological. We can affect one another. And if we care about the world like it's filled with our family, then we can work to be our best and share that around. We can make a difference in somebody else's life as we walk through our days. I'll never forget the story from Carolyn Mays. It changed my life. It changed the way I lived my life every single day. I was at a I Can Do It, or You Can Do It conference years ago, and saw Carolyn Mays speak. She's a medical intuitive, spiritual speaker. She's a wonderful powerhouse. She stood in front of this huge ballroom, and she talked about this man she had just met. And she said, I did a workshop a couple of months back, and this man came to me after, and he told the story of the day that he decided he was going to end his life. he had, I don't know what the story was, the specifics of it, but he just was done. He couldn't hold it anymore. He was in so much pain that he just couldn't go on one more day. And he left the office and was on his way home to commit suicide. And he stood at a corner with a stoplight, and there was a woman in the car, and she smiled at him. All she did was smile at him. And in that moment, he realized that there was goodness in the world. That there was one ray of goodness in the world. And that was enough for him to be able to stay. I never stop. You should see me driving up and down my street like this. She knows my daughter. I wave at everybody. She's like, who is that? I don't know. Why are you waving at them? I just do, you know? It's when I started, I sit out in back of my house, and we're on a hill, and people come and bike up the hill, you know? And so if I'm out doing my meditation or my reading in the meditation garden, I'll yell, you can do it! My daughter's like, so I started doing that when I was driving around, and a couple of years ago, I pressed the button to put the window down, and she put it up. But all these little ways that we can support each other. A smile makes a difference for someone. And can we be awake and aware enough of who we are and what's going on in that moment to realize we can get out of our own way and smile at the world? That we can be a force for good. Because that's the blessing that we have come here to be. You have come here to be you in your unique way. In whatever way that is. And we might not know, we might not know that story. That woman probably doesn't know that story. That she saved a life. But isn't it worth it to try? Yep. Even if we'll never know. And so my invitation for you this week, my goal for us is to wake up to the fact that being in community, that we are happier together. That we have the opportunity to support one another. That as we move from trying to get from this world and try to give, when we give, everything is given. When we hoard, everything shuts down. And so let's open our hearts. Share who we truly are. And honor everybody we come in contact with. Because as we are reminded, we never know what someone else is going through. We never do. So let's be the light. Let's be the joy. Let's be the angels. And just spread what we know to be true. Which is, life is so good if we make it. Yep. And so it is.
So it is.
And I actually think we have a very appropriate song next.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the one you love and hold them tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one is me and happy. The only one is me and you for me. So happy together, so happy together. So how is the weather? So happy together.
So great, thank you so much. All right, so this is a time of our service when we have the opportunity to participate in sacred giving. We're doing some transparent communication and trying to keep up with letting everybody know where we are. And so as of this week, as we're coming to a close for this month, currently we are about $1,800 under budget, with one more Sunday to go plus that. And so they asked at all their meetings that we're having to let everybody know where we are and kind of how we're operating. And so we are grateful for the ongoing support. We are grateful that we are all leaning in and really moving in this. We talked at our annual meeting a couple weeks ago about writing a new story and creating a new unfoldment here and really getting up and running this spring. And it feels like the energy is coming back. Sundays are feeling great. We've got a lot more interest. We've got more things happening, and the money follows. I know it does. The finances follow it. And so just as we stay connected and realize that we've got a vision. We've got a vision to create this space for each of us, to have our kids back, to have a full youth program going, to celebrate, and I hate to say that I'm going to say this, but I am. I want to have to work more. I want to go to 2 services, right? Like, I want us to be so bursting. Again, not because of people, but just because we're doing the work that we can do. That we can create a space for so many people to come in and know their truth and get to participate in a spiritual community that like we do. And so this is the time when I'm inviting people to invite friends. We're, starting to create our spring events. We're starting to move into this time of looking at, again, as we really start again, right? Because we're calling this last 2 years closed. That as we're up and running, that who do we want to be and what do we want to be doing and how does this look? And we want everyone to participate in this. We want feedback and we want participation, because it's not just me or a small group of people creating something. It's what we want to do together. And so we want to invite you to be part of that. And being part of our ongoing sacred giving is part of that. So we're so grateful for your ongoing financial support. There's a couple of ways that you could donate, especially for our friends online. You could go over and hit that donate button on our website. You could call Cecilia in the office at our office number, or you could mail your offering in. And so at this point, I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward and say thank you to all of our volunteers. They're so great. And I'll invite you to take your offering and place it upon your heart. And let us breathe our light and our love into it, knowing so well that this is a gift of the divine, that has come to each of us to support this unfoldment of CSL TV, that divine vision of being a light here in the valley, shining brightly, calling forth to all those who can be served, who can be inspired by this teaching. And so I bless this offering, know that it goes to multiply and to expand and to support this vision coming into its fullest expression. And I bless it and give thanks for it. And so it is. Please join me in saying the affirmation of abundance. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now. Yes.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need.
10 to noon. They're reading Thich Nhat Hanh's book, Fear, Essential Wisdom in Getting Through the Storm. It's available in the bookstore. That's Ann Woodward and Julie Mims. Our men's ministry is meeting on Wednesdays, both in person and at Journeys and online with Reverend Michael. And our Sisters in Spirit group meets on the third Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. at Journeys Restaurant. It was fun. I went last month. It was really fun. Our CSL TV Community Connection on Wednesday evenings with me. We get on and chat, we share, have some dialogue, and do some meditation every Wednesday night. It's a small group and me, and we're kind of having some fun with it. And I feel like it's this secret thing we're doing, and I try to invite other people in on our little secret because it's really great and it's a nice midweek touch, pick me up. And we keep inviting people, but they're not coming. So if you'd like to, I'm going to keep doing it, but it's fun. So from 7 to 8 on Wednesday nights, and it's a great group, and if you'd like to come join us, come on over. Our Gifts of Spirit group are planning a spring bazaar on May 22nd after church, and it's going to be a really fun day we're going to have vendors here selling crafts and cookies, which are here today also, and other things. And we're going to have people sharing their talents with poetry, and there's going to be a kirtan and all sorts of different things that day. So more information's coming. If you are a vendor, if you have something to sell, you want to contact Ann Woodward or Bonnie Mraz and let them know, because we're starting to gather the vendors, the people who will be participating that day. So our season for renewal, healing, and growth, I'm doing this on 7:30 every Monday through Friday. I am there. I brush my hair and I get online. I look like this. So we're doing a 15-minute meditation. We're doing it's a semi-Lent. It's based on a program for Lent, and I've changed it a little bit. But it's we're talking about what we're going to release before we move into this spring renewal, truly at Easter. So it's 40 days. It's a 15-minute meditation every morning. If you'd like to join it, it's not too late. If you'd like to join, you can send me an email at Rev Katherine at csltv.org, and I can get you signed up for it. We would love to have you join us. We are starting a month-long collection for local farm workers. So we've got a table out there. We passed out handouts last week with a list of things that we're collecting, and with the printer not working this morning, we couldn't print it again, but we will. We'll put it up online. But we're looking for warm clothes and socks, jeans for men, and food. So like canned meats, high protein things, so canned chicken, canned tuna, whatever those kinds of meats are. And so we're going to be collecting for the month. They do month-to-month collections, and so this is the last of the winter collections they're going to be doing. And these are people who in Duluth, and you can see from the board we set up the kind of housing that they live in, and the store where they buy things, and being able to support these men and women who work so hard and are local here. We think it's a worthy cause for this month. So we're encouraging everybody to bring something in over the month, and we're going to deliver it right after Easter on the 17th. And today is our Listening is an Act of Love program. We're going to start. What's going to happen is after service, we're going to have our potluck. And right after that, about 15 or 20 minutes after that, we're going to come through and everyone's going to be moved to a certain table. You're going to pick a number and go sit at a certain table. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have an hour of conversation. And it's going to be guided. I'm going to facilitate it. And we're going to have an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit deeper and a little bit differently. And I'm sorry we don't have the ability to show this video from StoryCorps, but it's based on, StoryCorps, which started a number of years ago because this man wanted to get his family's stories down. And it blew into this big thing. They have these listening booths all over the country that you can go in with one other person. And so like a grandparent will take their grandchild in and they'll give them the questions, and the grandchild will start asking the grandparent questions, and they'll have a conversation that they'll record. Now we got inspired by that idea and decided that what we can do is we can do a modified version of that at tables of 4 people. And so we're going to have a little conversation where we're going to get to talk to each other and ask each other some questions and really listen to one another and learn something new And so I strongly encourage you to join us. This is part of our diversity program, and it's our first event for the diversity program this year. And we think it's going to be a wonderful day. Never mind, it's a potluck. It's a potluck. You can't go wrong with a potluck. So that's what I've got for you today. And so with that, we're going to pray. I'll remind you that our practitioners are available for prayer after service out on the patio. We've got prayer requests in the back you can fill out, and they come to the whole team. If you've got something going on in your life, let us know. Please let us hold you in prayer. Please let us know the truth for you and support you in consciousness, because we know everything's energetic, and our prayers are energy in motion. And so moving into this inner realm together, let us just breathe. Knowing that one divine life is God. It's everywhere present. It is the truth of each and every one of us. I know God as that divine love. It is out of God's love that we were each created and brought forth. And that gift we have to give the world is God in action. And I know, for each and every one of us, that as we open to share that gift, it is reflected back to us in so many ways from all of those beloveds who raise our energy, who support us in expanding, in revealing the gifts we've come here to give to this life. And as we do that, all unfolds in that power and that presence of the one. And that Spirit inspires us forward onto those paths that allow for the fullness of life to be experienced. That happiness set point rises easily and effortlessly because we see and know the blessings of life that abound around us already. And so I know for anyone who is struggling in this moment that we move into that place of knowing and allow that light of God to shine brightly, to remind us of our connection, to guide us into that community, those relationships that mirror our truth and allow us to step into our power and bring forth that which is within us, so that which is within us can not only save us, but can bless the world. And so I know that this is a week of joy. It is a week of light. It is a week of love. And anything unlike it simply falls away as we step forth fully and freely as who we truly are. And so with a grateful heart, I bless this day and give thanks for it, surrendering my word. I know all is well, for God is here. And so it is. And so it is.
All right, let's all stand together and sing Peace on Earth. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, loved ones all are we. We now walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, I make this my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me.
And as we step forth in this week, let us open to the joy of life and realize that we are so happy together. And so it is.